you're desperate. Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison? What's your pleasure? Oh, my city, she never sleeps. My city, she never weeps. My city, she keeps me alive. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, 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 oh. Give it up. My city, my city. My city, my city. Where do you go when your heart's with a fever? Won't you scroll, but you won't leave her? Oh, here we are, all the freaks and believers, all the sweet neon dreamers. Oh, my city. My city, she never sleeps. My city, she never weeps. My city, she keeps me alive. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, 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 oh. Give it up. My city, my city. My city, my city. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, my city, my city.
What's the story on SmackDown, everyone? Tonight's topics are Vince sticks his nose where it doesn't belong,
I could 100% agree with that.
John Cena wins the U.S. title,
That's not how that went down.
Charlotte Flair will be the champion on Raw,
I have so many further thoughts on this. So there's like a lot more to talk about.
all that and more coming up. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Wrestle Story, where we discuss all things wrestling. The icons of the past, the superstars of the present, and the trailblazers of the future. We stream every Monday night after Raw, every Tuesday after SmackDown, every Wednesday after NXT, and after all pay-per-views.
And we also do a predictions video, normally the Friday or Saturday before the pay-per-view, depending on what's happening. Then during the week, you can also sometimes catch us, depending on what's happening in the world of wrestling. We'll do an extra stream thrown in there somewhere, talking about rumors and things like that. So make sure to subscribe and click the little notification bell so you'll be notified when we go live or put up a video.
Yes, make sure you subscribe. Hit the little bell thing.
So tonight we are talking about SmackDown. I thought this was I kind of have mixed thoughts because I didn't think it was a bad SmackDown, but it also wasn't my favorite. I really liked yesterday's Raw, a lot.
Well, I think these two have been two of the better shows recently.
Yeah.
I felt that tonight's moved pretty quick. The only thing that I have not liked about both nights is the commercials.
Yeah. So actually, tonight I took a tab on how many Temptation Island commercials there were, because yesterday there were so many, and literally there were 12 through the entire show.
And that's on top of all the other
all
commercials.
the on top of all
take
the other
place.
commercials. I just get so tired of the Temptation Island commercials. So that's the one thing that I really dislike are commercials. But you know,
So we start the night off. We have the Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston contract signing for the FastLane match.
this is how they opened the show. I thought it was, I mean, you know, it was contract signing. So Steph and Shane show a video, Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon show a video about Kofi, and they talk about how 2 weeks ago Kofi Kingston didn't have any of this Maven counted commercials. I did, because yesterday there were so many, and I was like, how many are there truly?
You were shocked she counted commercials. I was shocked she could count to 12.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dad. So they talked about how 2 weeks ago Kofi Kingston didn't have any of this, and luckily he was put into that position, you know, by fate or whatever. And then they bring out Kofi Kingston in the New Day, and then Kofi talks about for 11 years he's been working for this and waiting for an opportunity like this where he can finally go for a big title, because he's held the U.S. Championship before, and he's held Tag Team Championships before, and the Intercontinental Championship before, but he's never had a world title. Then after that, our internet cut out. So we were sitting there going,
We panicked.
what's happening? Because right before our internet went out, Vince McMahon's music started playing, and I was like, walk, 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 walk. So I was wondering what was going to happen, and then our internet went back up.
I think Vince McMahon broke our internet.
That's what I said. I said Vince McMahon's music played, and he shut our internet down. So I thought that was kind of funny, just the timing of the way that happened. So then Vince comes out, and he talks about Kofi, and, you know, he appreciates everything he's done, and he has worked so hard for 11 years. But then he goes on to say that he doesn't think that he should be in the main event spot, and he doesn't think that he's big enough to draw in big numbers or a big crowd or whatever. And then he says, I'm replacing you. And I go, and I just smack my head on the table.
In other words, Vince McMahon doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. So in other words, aside from, oh gosh, going forward here, he then says he's replacing Kofi with Kevin Owens. And what did I say they were going to do? They were going to do Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan. This isn't the way I thought they were going to do it, but with the whole thing with the pizza videos and stuff.
Well, you kind of thought that might be the WrestleMania match.
That's what I thought was going to be Mania. But maybe, I mean, it's FastLane now.
Well, and I think it may have been the WrestleMania match. I think with the way Kofi's gotten a big push and a big pop from the crowd, I think what they're looking to do is Kevin, or they decided to push Kevin Owens up for FastLane.
Because, I mean, he was able to come back, so.
And they're going to, whoever does win the FastLane match between Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens, I think will face Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania for the title.
I'm thinking it's going to be Kevin Owens.
Might be,
I mean, if Rowan gets involved, then Daniel Bryan, but if he doesn't, then I'm going to say Kevin Owens. That's kind of where I'm at right now, just because I think they're probably going to give Kevin Owens a big title and give him a big push, and then he's going to lose it at Mania because Kofi's a bigger thing right now.
I agree. I think
than Kevin Owens.
I think that, but you know, they've done stranger things, so who knows? But there's a lot of shakeup going on right now with the way they're doing these storylines. I have felt that both last night's show, the Raw show, and tonight's show have been way better than they have been previously.
Those new writers that they got on like this weekend.
And maybe that's what's
over
doing
the
it.
past
Is
week.
the new writers have kind of stepped this up. It seems like things are faster paced. There were more matches and not so many promos.
Yeah.
And there were some shocking things that happened. You know, things that weren't expected to happen happened.
Yeah. So at first I was like, I'm still this way. I'm like, so Vince McMahon people are really going to hate him.
Definitely.
Like, I mean, they did this with Becky. They suspended her. And then she no longer is in the WrestleMania match as of right now. And then they're doing the exact same thing with Kofi Kingston, only he's not suspended. I thought it was really funny. I was scrolling through my Twitter after this happened, and then they said, I think it was Wrestling Inc. They put out a tweet, and it said, Vince McMahon comes out and says, "I'm replacing you, Kofi Kingston, with Charlotte Flair." And I thought that was so funny. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
So he gets replaced by Kevin Owens. Woohoo! And then Kevin Owens and Bryan stare each other down in the ring after Owens signs his contract for the match.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that was. They didn't necessarily need to do that.
No.
But I suppose, it kind of added to, they're staring each other down and ready to fight each other, So
next we have The Bar versus the Hardy Boys.
That's right. We said the Hardy Boys.
Matt Hardy made his return tonight. I don't remember I think we talked about this in our rumors and Roman Reigns returning stream from a couple days ago. It wouldn't have been, the last stream we did was Monday Night Raw, and then the stream before that was a rumors, predictions, releases thing. Yeah. And I think we talked about Matt Hardy, and his contract was up in 11 days after. Well, you knew something was going to happen with Kevin Owens. They kept showing him, so something was up. Yeah, and what the funny thing is, they didn't show a video on Raw.
Well, I was waiting for them to show him at Burger King. But that would have been done around King of the Ring and not FastLane.
So, where's I going with this? Oh, Matt Hardy. That was what was said, is that his contract was up in 11 days. So he obviously re-signed his contract. And what did you say that you found about Cesaro after that match? And they were like, what the heck happened to Cesaro and Johnny freaking Wrestling? Like, that was not what was supposed to happen. It's not what was said was going to happen at SmackDown.
Well, and then I wonder, because if you watch the match, the Bar standing out in the ring, and then the Hardy Boys song comes on, and both Cesaro and Sheamus look like
looking at each other like, huh?
What is this? So I wonder if
they either sold it really well or they truly had no idea what was going on.
I wonder if the plan wasn't, or the original plan was to have Johnny Gargano.
But then Matt Hardy re-signed his contract, and so then they were going to give a push to the tag team division.
Yeah. Well, and I think this is okay because I think it helps build the tag team division.
Yeah.
It brings some stars to the tag team division. It brings wrestlers that have been champions.
Yeah.
It kind of
who are really big.
The tag teams. And if you've been watching recently, they've kind of started to show different tag teams and pushing tag teams. I mean, with Gargano and Ciampa and
Aleister Black and Ricochet. I think they're really pushing them because they're in the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Not that they need. Not that I think Aleister Black and Ricochet should not be tag teams, because I think both of them are better on their own, or at least not together. Maybe down the road they may be able to work with somebody else, but not those two together. So I think that they're really trying to push tag teams right now, and so we'll see where they go from here.
Yeah. So the Hardy Boys won that match, and then we go to an Ricochet, Aleister Black, and Lana promo backstage, and they are talking about, Lana's like, I don't understand what all the fuss is. Why is everybody making a big deal? You all aren't anything special. And they just tell her, hey, wait until you see us get in the ring, and then you'll see what we're capable of. Ricochet said something along the lines of, Rusev, I'm going to get in the ring with Rusev, but he has to catch me first, or something like that. And so they were just kind of like teasing each other. And then we go to R-Truth and Carmella promo. And this was hilarious.
Yeah,
both
definitely.
SmackDown and Raw have like their comedians right now. On Raw, it's like Dean Ambrose, and on SmackDown, it's Truth.
Yeah, I like Truth.
I do too. He's really funny. So Truth comes out and he says, "Ever since I was little, I wanted to be just like my hero, John Cena." And everybody just like cracks up laughing. And Corey Graves makes the comment. He's like, he does realize that
They're like the same
they're
age.
just like the same age.
Yeah.
So, and they came into the business at the same time. So what is he talking about? And then Truth, he goes, "I'm going to do a U.S. Open challenge just like my hero did." And then Andrade comes out. And then Rey Mysterio comes out from right behind him and takes out Andrade. And then they get in the ring. And he says, Truth goes, I don't know who I'm going to pick. You know? And Mela gets on the mic and she goes, "Well, you know, if you were John Cena, what would you do?" And she goes on to say, I think John Cena would have a triple threat match." And Truth goes, "You know what? I'm going to dedicate my match to John Cena because guess what? That's what I'm going to do. We're going to have a triple threat match for my hero, John Cena." And I thought this was the funniest segment ever. So then we go into R-Truth versus Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. And R-Truth did end up getting the win.
I thought... I was thinking Andrade.
That's what I was too. I said I think Andrade is going to win just because...
I thought maybe they'd start giving him a push. But I think, you know, R-Truth, and I didn't see the pop today that he has had in the past with the fans.
He did, in the match, this has nothing to do with what you're about to talk about, but he did, just on my head right now, he did, like, this really cool, like, flip thing. He, like, ran into the guy, and then, like, he did this, like, spin. It was really cool. I don't know. He's good at that stuff.
Oh, and during the match, he did do a couple of John Cena moves.
Yeah, he did the 5-knuckle shuffle. I thought it was so funny. He was like, "This is for you, John," and then he did 5-knuckle shuffle. It was hilarious.
So anyway, I thought Andrade would win the match. So I was kind of shocked that they still had R-Truth winning. Although he does get pop from the crowd. Like I said, though, I didn't think he got as much pop tonight.
Yeah.
But I hope they keep him as champion for a little while.
I'm almost thinking now, if he doesn't have a match at FastLane, I'm thinking maybe he's going into Mania as the U.S. champ.
Yeah, I agree. I think he has to.
Because they don't have him set for FastLane right now. And I'm assuming they're probably not going to because they're not really focusing on the U.S. Championship as much. But going into Mania, you know there'll be a U.S. Championship match.
Yeah.
So...
I think that they have to have him go into the to WrestleMania as the U.S. champion.
I would agree.
Yeah.
So we were just scrolling through Twitter, and Cesaro, he put out a tweet an hour ago, and it says, "Card subject to change." So he probably had no idea.
So I guess that ties into...
He probably had no idea.
Sheamus even retweeted it, so... Obviously, he was thinking he was going to fight Johnny Gargano, and when Hardy Boys music came on, it was like a total, he sold that he didn't have a clue what was going to happen, and so, I think it was unexpected, and they sold it really well. I mean,
they did.
I thought that when I was sitting there watching it, and, when I knew that they were supposed to fight, or he was supposed to fight Johnny Gargano.
What the heck is this?
And then you have the Hardy Boys coming out. I was like, what's going on? And so then you have Cesaro, having the look of like, what are they doing? This is the Hardy Boys. This isn't Johnny Gargano coming out.
Yeah.
Why is he out here? Why are they coming out here? So, I think they sold it, and obviously they're selling it now with posting on Twitter, card subject to change. Seems like the cards are subject to change quite frequently right now.
I guess. So then we have Honky Tonk Man Hall of Fame. This was announced over on Twitter that he was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. Quite honestly, I already thought he was a Hall of Famer.
I didn't think he had been inducted.
Well,
yet.
I mean,
he deserved to be inducted, but I didn't think he'd been inducted. I mean, he definitely deserves to be inducted. He was a great wrestler. He was a great showman. He, did everything that that he could do as during the time.
Yeah.
And he was fun to watch. He was Elias of
Where's the Honky Tonk? Dude, I would love to see
20 years ago, 30 years ago.
I would love to see them do like a promo bouncing off each other. I think that'd be really good. Like,
God, I hope not, because I'm tired of like the old guys coming out with Elias and doing stuff with him.
But like, they're like the same character though.
They are, but
I wish
they
they.
already did it with Jeff Jarrett. I hope they don't do it with
I
the
almost
Honky Tonk
wish
Man.
they would have done it with Honky Tonk Man instead of Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, well,
I feel like it would have been. It would have been. I don't know.
I think they probably get a better pop with Jeff Jarrett than they would have with the Honky Tonk Man.
Probably, but it would have been cool to see.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
So we have the Honky Tonk Man. He is the second announced soon-to-be Hall of Famer that is going in this year. We have D-Generation X, who was the first one that was announced, and now we have Honky Tonk Man. They're going to have to, like, start cranking people out, because, like, announcing them soon.
Well, I figure probably about every 4 or 5 days now you're going to start seeing names pop up.
I mean, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania is, they didn't even show how long WrestleMania, but last I checked it was 40 days, so it's probably closer to, like, 30 now.
It is April 7th.
And it's almost,
right?
I think, April 6th or April 7th, one of the two.
I think it's April 7th, I believe. So, yes, they will. I mean, they're going to have to pop them out, but, I mean, it's they got time, every 4 or 5 days.
I'm just curious to see who else they're supposed to be, because the Hart Foundation was another one that was speculated, so I'm wondering.
Well, and then you wonder, with the announcements, I know DX was big, but are they going to wait, like, save the biggest one for the last big
I mean,
pop
that's what they've done before. They did Kevin Nash was the last one a couple years ago. Sting, Kurt Angle, like some of those big ones. Goldberg went in the Hall of Fame, didn't he?
I
think so.
I think so. Well, one thing I did see today was Davey Boy Smith's, I believe his daughter had posted a tweet. Someone had said, asked her, why is your family against Davey Boy Smith being in the WWE Hall of Fame? And she was like, none of my family is against Davey Boy Smith being in the WWE Hall of Fame, so I don't know where you're getting this information. And so I think they must have been thinking, I know Owen Hart's family doesn't necessarily want him to be
just because of
in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, just because of the way he died.
So, I would, seeing the British Bulldogs go in would be awesome.
That would be so cool. Dynamite Kid just died within the last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So seeing both of them go in as a tag team together would be really cool. I don't know. I don't even know who else I would want to see go in. I can't think of anybody for the women's division. I know the Bella Twins were thrown around, but I don't think they'd put the Bella Twins in yet for like the women's. I mean,
no,
maybe,
I wouldn't think so.
But maybe not, because they are. I mean, like they're still around, but they're cutting off ties with WWE.
They could still wrestle if they wanted to.
They could.
I mean, it's not like they're ancient or anything like that.
No.
So it's not like they've been out for a long time. So right now I would say on the women's side there's probably, and I'd have to go check the WWE Hall of Fame, but I wouldn't say there's probably no one that probably legitimately deserves to be in right now that is out there.
I think what they should have done is they should have put DX in as DX, and then they should have done Chyna separately, but inducted her the same year.
Well, and the one thing about Chyna is there was a lot of heat between her and the WWE.
Yeah.
So just the fact that she's getting in is pretty cool.
It's a big deal, yeah. But I don't know who they do for their big women's inductee this year.
We'll have to see what happens. I don't know what they'll do.
I don't know either. So we had the Honky Tonk Man Hall of Fame thing, and then we had Charlotte. This is her promo about Becky and Ronda and everything that happened last night. So she talked about earlier in the evening at first, where Vince changed the FastLane match, and she talked about, oh, woohoo for Kevin Owens, and yay, 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 just like me. you know. And then she talks about being the gold standard for the women's division on both shows. And then she goes on to recap Becky being arrested and Ronda Rousey leaving her title in the ring. And then she says, you know, I know why they did it. Because they fear me. Because they don't want to have to go up against me. Because Ronda knows that I will beat her. And Becky knows that I will do the exact same thing to her. I will beat both of them up to a pulp, just like I did at Survivor Series when I faced Ronda Rousey for you, Becky Lynch. And I was like, oh man, this whole thing is just, it's got me worked up.
Yes, I know. You would spend 45 minutes talking about this workup with Becky Lynch.
Then she showed a video that Ronda had talked about back from November, right after Survivor Series or before Survivor Series. I think it was after, because I just went back and watched this. But it was a video about Ronda Rousey talking about being a true champ, and you know, I don't know. Then she goes on to say that she will show up on next Monday on Raw, and Vince will crown her the new Raw Women's Champion. I don't see that happening.
Well, you know what? With the way they've done things recently, it wouldn't shock me. I don't.
But you know that's not what people want to see.
Well, it's not. But people didn't want to see. People want to see Becky Lynch.
People didn't want to
Ronda
see Ronda Rousey taken out of the match in the first place. People didn't want to see Charlotte Flair added into the match in the first place.
Bendy Boy says technically she said she would expose Becky Lynch for the fraud she is.
Okay. I just left that part out.
Yeah.
Then
Conveniently.
Becky Lynch is not a fraud, okay? She's the man. The man only does things for the man, not for the people. So, you know, she's not a fraud. She's just the man.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to leave that.
The man.
Because I could say a lot more.
So anyway, I think Vince, you know, it wouldn't shock me if Vince said, hey, you're the champion.
But then what are they going to do for Mania?
What do you mean, what are they going to do for Mania?
Then what are they going to do for Charlotte at Mania?
They could do a lot of things. I mean...
Convenient that you were wearing a Becky shirt, too. Yes. I actually just got this today. It's part of my birthday gift for my birthday that isn't happening for another month. I got my gifts early. Got a whole bunch of WWE t-shirts. So, stay tuned to our streams and you can see the rest of those t-shirts.
Yeah, because Hulkamania will run wild on you.
Yeah, that's a new t-shirt, too. You just got a whole bunch of new t-shirts. But it's not your birthday. So.
No. Just think what I'll get for my birthday.
But I don't know what they're going to do going forward to Mania then. If they're going to put Charlotte as the champion.
Same thing they've been doing. It'll be Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch triple threat match.
But why would they... A whole wrestler? Yes, that would be great. It can be Becky Lynch in the flesh.
Could be.
That'd be great. Be. Just buy Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
And, you know.
In the flesh.
So, I don't... Why would they do that, though? I don't think that they're going to crown Charlotte as the new champion. I think Ronda Rousey's going to end up come and interrupt her.
Well, nothing's changed. I don't think anything's changed. You're still going to have the same match. It's just they're doing different stuff with the storyline. And Ronda
Rousey's going to retake her title back.
She might, but I mean, they're just gonna. She already said the belt doesn't matter. It's about having good matches,
well,
didn't she?
Oh man, I just don't know.
I don't know that it really matters.
Champion.
Okay.
So.
And when it's all said and done, she still might not be the Raw Women's Champion. Here's what I see happening. Okay. As much as Becky Lynch has been pushed and pushed over with the fans, the only thing they have done with her is we were gonna get to that.
I'm gonna get to that in just a second.
As much as they have pushed her, and now they've kind of put her to the back burner and really haven't done a lot with her other than, you know, coming out and attacking Ronda Rousey.
I did read an article talking about how
do you want me to finish my thought?
Yes.
Okay. So with her being kind of pushed to the back burner, are they trying to not have so much pop from the fans for her.
No matter what you do. No matter what you do, the fans are still chanting Becky. Whether Charlotte's in the ring, whether Ronda's in the ring.
Well, they are, but because they know she's going to come in and try and kick the crap out of somebody. But
she didn't tonight, did she?
But it's part of the storyline. I mean, it's part of everything that they're doing right now.
No matter what happens, the fans are still behind Becky. I said this yesterday. I said whether she is on the babyface side or whether she's a heel, it doesn't matter. People like her because of her character. Because she's like Becky Lynch.
So then it proves the title doesn't matter.
I guess.
I mean, because she could bring a 2x4 in and beat them up and get disqualified, and everybody be yelling Becky, Becky, Becky. So
yeah.
What difference does it make?
I mean,
being the champion doesn't mean anything. And I think right now, I think that's part of the problem with WWE is some of that is being the champion doesn't mean anything. You have the tag team champions losing. You have Ronda Rousey just setting her belt down and saying, "Here, take this."
She's never lost, so that's not.
You have Brock Lesnar never showing up. Asuka just finally showed up here just recently again.
But yet again, she wasn't on the show tonight.
And so that's what I'm saying. So what is being a champion?
Even have a women's match tonight at all? No.
No.
They didn't have a women's match at all. It was just a Charlotte promo. And
so, I don't understand, what the titles mean nothing.
I don't know, man. But I don't know. I just think it's like an achievement. I don't know. Because Charlotte has been both SmackDown and both Raw Women's Champion. And so...
Yeah, I mean, she has been. So, but...
And Ronda Rousey's only been the Raw Women's Champion, but she's never lost.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the titles mean nothing.
Okay.
Do they?
Well, I guess not.
I mean, ultimately... They just want to see Becky Lynch beat up
Ronda
Rousey and Charlotte
Yeah, but
Flair.
they want to see her win the title, though.
Why?
Because she's never done it.
Has anyone said you want to see her win the title?
Okay, whatever. I'm saying I want to see her win the title.
If she came, I told you, if she came out with a 2x4 and started beating on the two of them, would it matter? If they said she wasn't going to win the title, as long as she came out and looked tough and beat them up with a 2x4, would it matter?
Agree to disagree. That's what I say about this.
Oh.
So next we have, actually, hold on. We're actually going to talk about that real quick. Charlotte never mentioned anything about her dad at all.
No, she didn't, which kind of shocked me.
Her dad got beat up last night by Batista. And she has nothing to say about it. At all.
Yeah.
Like...
I don't know.
Something that I kind of thought was maybe that, and I think Mom said this too, because Mom was watching wrestling with us, and she was like, well, what if Charlotte, like, hired Batista to then take out her dad, and, for taking spotlight away from the women's match or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's a thought, but, I mean, I thought that too at first. And then I was like, well. But then he talked about, Hunter, did I get your attention?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Which makes me then go, no. Because he's doing this to get Triple H's attention for whatever is going to unfold.
But he still might be tied into it could still be tied into maybe a Charlotte Flair thing.
Here's another thought. She says, Batista has whatever is going on with Triple H, and then Charlotte says, take it a step further, and I want you to go and beat up my dad because I'm not happy with my dad or whatever, because he's taken away from my spotlight. So you go beat up Ric Flair and get Hunter's attention, and beat him up for me. it's a win-win situation.
Well, but see, the whole issue I have with that is the way they portrayed Charlotte is she is not vindictive and doesn't want to look to, you know, when she goes for a title or goes into a match, she wants to win the match and wants to win it legitimately.
Except for Survivor Series when she beat the crap out of Ronda Rousey with kendo sticks.
Okay, but I mean, you know, I just see her...
Which is what her whole thing that she said tonight, which is what she talked about. She said, Ronda Rousey, you're afraid to get in the ring with me because I'm going to do the exact same thing to you that I did when it came down to Survivor Series.
She is, but it came down to, you know, it was basically the two of them fighting. It wasn't, you know, like someone came from the outside and like did anything. It was them fighting. And they just portray her...
disqualification.
They portray her as, you know, more of a, you know, a big superstar. You know what I'm saying?
I guess.
And I don't know that they would see her being, like, jealous of her dad coming in and doing... If they did that, you know, it'd, like, totally twist everything that I've thought of Charlotte Flair, and so I think that would...
Shock people?
Probably make... Yeah, I mean, it would shock people. Which may be what they're gonna do. I mean... With the storylines, you know, kind of starting to heat up a little bit and some stuff starting to change a little bit.
I just don't know what they're gonna do next week because I thought they were gonna reinstate Becky Lynch this week, and then Ronda Rousey was gonna get her hands on her, but then they didn't, and then they did this whole thing with Ric Flair, which is not what I thought they were gonna do, and then now I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. See what happens.
I don't know.
So then we have Aleister Black, Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. I have to say that Aleister Black and Ricochet have the two best entrances in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
If
you were to go to a wrestling show, like live and in person, I'd go to one that has them on it.
Well, and I mean...
Because their entrances are the best, and like, you know...
Well, then on top of that, they're exciting wrestlers.
Yeah.
Although I do think they need to portray them. I've said this many times. They need to be split up. I don't think they necessarily mean to be a tag team. But
like I said earlier, I said they're doing this to hype up the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Well, they are, but I think it was to hype up just the tag team division in general, because the tag team division in general on WWE has not been good right now.
Yeah. Bringing the Hardy Boys back.
You're starting to... Well, I think you're starting to see that, you know, you've seen a lot of promos with tag teams, and now you see the Hardy Boys return. You've seen Aleister Black and Ricochet team up. You've seen Ciampa and Gargano team up.
DIY.
So, you know, they're in the process of working on, I think, making the tag team division more interesting.
Yeah.
So Aleister Black and Ricochet end up getting the win.
I thought it was a really good match.
Like I said, I think, and even though I'm not a big...
But the thing is that Aleister Black was in the ring for a lot of the match, like on his own. Like he didn't really tag out to Ricochet all that often.
Yeah.
So again, it's like they do better as singles competitors.
Well, that's what I said. I think there's just not a lot of cohesion there with the two of them. And I'm not a huge Shinsuke Nakamura fan, but I think he has some good matches. And Rusev, I think he has good matches. And you throwing all four of these guys together, even though like Black and Ricochet aren't necessarily a good tag team, so to speak, I think that overall this match was good. It's something that they really need to push as things like this, because this is like your mid-card stuff that would to entertain people, you know, in between the big pop at the beginning of shows, the big pop at the end of shows. These are the guys that are going to be in the middle, at least for now, are the ones that are kind of your mid-card guys that need to come in and keep everything rolling and going.
Yeah. To
keep people's interest.
Yeah. So Aleister Black and Ricochet got the win on that one. I'm curious to see what they do on NXT tomorrow. I'm wondering if we're going to see Johnny Gargano on NXT tomorrow.
Well, and the one thing is I know that they've done the tapings already.
Yeah.
So, you know, We haven't checked anything to see who won or anything like that, so we will do a show
Ricochet and
tomorrow.
Aleister Black were
to
the most
let you know
exciting thing in
what
the show tonight.
Has happened on NXT. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow night on NXT.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. All we know is Velveteen Dream is the North American champ, so
Yes.
you know. Then we have AJ Styles and Randy Orton promo backstage. It started off with AJ Styles, and he was talking about how he helped build up the division, and stuff like that. And then Randy Orton comes in and is like, "You built up the division. What are you even talking about? Like, do you know how long I've been here? Do you pay attention to anything at all?" And yeah, I foresee they probably are gonna have a match next week or the week after.
Possibly, and they could be setting up a WrestleMania thing here. So,
then we have Lacey Evans with her usual walking up and down the aisle, or walking up and down the ramp, you know, as usual, every week.
no clue what they're doing with
Monday and Tuesday. Well, this time they announced her.
They did, but I still have no.
They announced, the ring announcers did announce her as Lacey Evans. And she came down, and she did take her gloves off this time, and looked like she was gonna get ready to like walk into the ring to do a promo, and then she like just turned around and walked back up. So
Yeah, so I'm not sure what they're doing with her yet.
I don't either.
And it maybe what they're doing is when they do the roster shakeup, Charlotte Flair is gonna go over to Raw.
Or
so
Lacey Evans comes to SmackDown.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So they move Charlotte Flair over to Raw, and they move Lacey Evans in to try and fill her spot on SmackDown.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that they do like a match between them.
No. Well, they might do that
Well,
too.
I mean, if
but
Charlotte
that's-
Flair is the Raw Women's Champ, then yeah, they have to move her to Raw. I mean, they don't have to, but
Yeah. So I mean that could
could
be
make more sense.
The plan
But that's
is-
what I thought they were gonna do with Becky Lynch. Is I thought they were gonna move her over to Raw, and then
she's kind
like,
of everywhere right now.
yeah. So I don't know.
So then we have the
Roman Reigns recap of last night and back in October, and talking about his leukemia being in remission. You know, again, heartfelt video. It's like sad and stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's
then it was like
pretty cool though that
happy.
you know he's in remission and everything, and that he's really trying to promote.
It was,
you know the whole leukemia thing and trying to bring attention to it and trying to get people to donate and
yeah.
and help make money to fight the cancers.
Yeah.
Ricochet and Aleister Black were the most exciting thing in the show tonight. They were pretty good, I thought. Like I said, the entrances are awesome.
I know you talked about it at the beginning of the show. You were like, when Vince came out and he was like, "I'm going to replace you, Kofi Kingston," you were like, "Roman Reigns." And then they brought out Kevin Owens and you were like, "Oh, Kevin Owens too," you know.
Yeah, big letdown.
So then we have a Ric Flair recap on what happened.
I understand why they didn't do Roman Reigns, because they're just bringing him back from leukemia.
Yeah.
They're trying to make him a babyface. And if you come out and have him, like,
The boss.
the champion, or, go for the championship.
And you're called in by the boss. Like, they're making
Vince McMahon
Charlotte
is a
look like...
heel.
Well, they're making Charlotte look like one of the bad guys now because she was brought out by Vince.
Yeah.
And so it'd do the exact same thing. A 20-second video of everything that went down last night from, like, his getting beat up by Batista. And then it talked about find out something else on Raw. Or, you want to catch up on this, check out Monday Night Raw. So it was like an advertisement for Raw. With the Ric Flair birthday thing.
That's what it was. I mean, it wasn't a,
It wasn't
big
like
thing.
no. It was like 20 seconds. So then we get to the main event. This is Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. I don't know why they did this as like the main event. I don't know why this was like a match.
Because you have the three guys that they talked about fighting for the
I
title.
mean, I guess it's cool that we got to see Kevin Owens in the ring first night back. But like still, I don't know. So Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston ended up getting the win. Kevin Owens won after he like powerbombed Daniel Bryan, and then he got the pin. So that's how that match went. I was going to talk about something, and now I can't remember what.
Good job. I just hope they don't make this a triple threat match.
At FastLane?
I don't care where they do it. I just don't want it to be a triple threat match. Let's have them one-on-one.
Well, if you're already having a triple threat for the Women's Championship,
that doesn't mean anything.
then why would you do 2 triple threat matches?
Because the way they've done a lot of stuff, it's been repeat over and over again. Hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they don't do that with this.
I don't know. I was going to... Like I said, I was going to talk about something, and now I can't remember what. Where's that going? I don't remember.
You lost your train of thought.
I lost my train of thought. I was going to talk about something.
Don't you hate it when you drop your brain?
And I can't remember. I don't know. I literally have no idea where I was going with that
All right.
at all. That's why you need notes.
We got notes.
Well, no, it just came to my head, and then we were talking about
and then
Kevin
it went
Owens.
right back out.
And then it was like, whoop.
It's one of those brain fart things. Can I say that on here?
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what I was going to say. So, if I remember, I'll put it somewhere. But right now, I have no clue what I was going to say.
Drop your brain. So, I think we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens tomorrow on NXT. We'll see how things go on Raw. We know Charlotte Flair is going to be there to claim the title. Other than
Let's
that,
hope not.
We will have to see what happens. You got anything else?
I don't think so. Well, except for the thing that I forgot what I was going to say.
All right. Guess we'll kind of wrap
Which
this up.
I can't remember what it was.
We stream just a reminder, we stream every Monday night after Raw, every Tuesday after SmackDown, every Wednesday after NXT.
NXT will probably be more exciting than tonight was.
I didn't think tonight was a bad show, really. You
Sorry.
just screamed and blew everybody's eardrums out. Jeez.
I remembered what I was going to say. You said NXT, and then you said, I didn't think tonight was a bad show. Shane and Miz. We didn't see anything with them.
They needed a break.
They needed a break. But we didn't see anything with Shane and Miz. So I was like, oh, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, there was no Shane or Miz tonight, which,
kind of shocking.
Well, and I think they're trying to stir some things up and trying to get some new things going on. So I wasn't shocked not to see.
Obviously, the Vince thing was not expected. I thought the Truth and Cena thing was really funny. Hardy Boys return back together is really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Again, I think they're trying to shore up the,
make
the tag teams better.
Better, yeah.
And so if they can do that by bringing in more tag teams and better tag teams, and nothing like bringing in the Hardy Boys, the one of the greatest tag teams ever, and I think that'll help out with that division.
Honky Tonk Man Hall of Fame thing, pretty cool. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Thought he was already in the Hall of Fame, but obviously not if he's being inducted this year. So
R-Truth keeping his title.
Charlotte, Becky, Ronda. Who knows what's happening with that? I have no idea anymore. Newcomers: Aleister Black and Ricochet, Nakamura and Rusev. I think decent stuff.
Yep. Lacey Evans walking up and down the aisle again, or the ramp.
Who knows what's going on with that?
So, and then the big one was Kofi Kingston being removed from the main event at FastLane.
Oh, and then tag teams need fresh blood.
They do definitely.
They should bring Edge and Christian back.
But they gotta have the right guys and the right tag teams in there to make it more interesting.
They should bring Edge and Christian back.
So anyway, I think we're gonna end our stream now. Again, we stream every Monday after Raw, every Tuesday after SmackDown, every Wednesday after NXT, after every pay-per-view, and then you will also see us streaming when there is, or the day before or 2 days before a pay-per-view, to give our predictions on what will happen at the pay-per-view.
Then we also do takeovers, NXT takeovers.
Yes, we'll do an NXT takeover.
The next big one, that's a NXT pay-per-view. Next one will be in March. No, not March.
It's in April.
April. WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
So there's that coming up soon. Next couple months, we will do Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we'll have several probably during that whole stretch there with WrestleMania.
Because there's a
stuff.
lot of stuff happening. Then we also, during the week, depending on what's happening in the world of wrestling, we'll do a extra stream sometimes talking about rumors, new WWE releases, AEW stuff, just kind of whatever's happening. If we have enough information, we'll pop on here and do a quick little stream to share that information.
Definitely.
Make sure to subscribe.
Subscribe, hit the bell, so you
You'll
get
be
notified.
notified every time we go live or
give us a
upload
like.
a new video.
Give us a like, thumbs up, or if you dislike us, give us a dislike. Just let us know what you like or dislike, so then we can fix our streams. Make sure you do subscribe to us so you know when we're going live, and make sure you hit that bell so you definitely get notified when we are going live.
Yep.
So I suppose with that, we will say, they can follow.
Oh, yeah. You can find us.
You can follow me at Mr_Gleen, and also the Wrestle Story on Twitter.
You can also find me at Maven Gleen. Hit us up on there with any further questions, any further theories on what might be going on in wrestling. And then, I think that's pretty much it. We'll be back tomorrow for NXT, because, NXT is cool.
Yes.
And that is tomorrow. We will be on not as soon as it's over, but sometime shortly thereafter.
Yep. So with that,
we will see
peace
everybody tomorrow.
Where do you go when you're young, when you're restless, when you're fun, 'cause you're desperate?